Hey Oscar, 3 a.m. I always forget, what's 3 a.m.? 12 hours? What, is that Japan? Asia? Somewhere in Asia? Australia? I forget. New Zealand? Yeah, cool. Is it true that if you drill a hole from Paris to go through the center of the Earth, you land in New Zealand? I guess it makes sense that there's a 12-hour difference. Little fun fact. You tried it? Nice. Alright, I haven't played against Junt variants, so it looks like it might be black-green. This is a bad matchup. Looks like they have Dark Confident too. This is a really tough matchup. Did they mulligan? Maybe that's our saving grace. Yeah, they mulligan and they kept on top. Terminus? Chase. Not a bad draw. Good old Bob Fart Bob. I could have called it. I could have called the bluff. Just snapped a dude in play. All right. Well, the made up for the mulligan was Dark Confident, but hand's pretty strong. Ooze is not especially scary. Good path and give them the extra land. That seems pretty bad though. This way next turn I can go path New, Snapcaster, path whatever other creature they play. Using the Detention Sphere leaves me kind of vulnerable to a Planeswalker, but thing was Jace and Cryptic Command. I have a pretty stacked hand. Liliana of the Last Hope doesn't do much, and Liliana of the Veil is not that great because they have to discard spells as well, so it's not the end of the world.
Every time I watch you play it ignites memories for me.
See what you did there. Arigato, Ryu. Thanks for the 16 months support. Appreciate you. Alright, so that's kind of the scenario I was talking about. Given the extra land is not a big deal. They don't use the mana especially well. Obviously their draw step's going to be better, but this game is going very okay so far. Am I going to get some Inkling custom tokens? I don't think so. No one's reached out to me. Ooh, I get extra lands too. Oh. Alright, can I dodge Thoughtseize? Got another Assassin's Trophy. And a Thoughtseize. Alright, good beats. So, I guess we're about to find out that they have Fatal Push. They might also want to save it for the coin. What? It's very surprising. I did not expect them to take Cryptic Command over Jace. I guess they have Assassin's Trophy in hand. I'm kind of dumb. Even then, I'm just gonna attack. They have Quagmire, but they're just gonna Assassin's Trophy Jace anyway, so they're not gonna try and should Assassin's Trophy. I think they just messed up a tiny bit. Mission Assassin's Trophy in response to the Jace activation. Now I gotta brainstorm. I have to shuffle 2 lands away. It's true, I could have just drawn Spell Snare Island. To be fair, almost no one plays more than 1 Spell Snare. Definitely want Celeste. Yeah. Besides Celestial Purge, it's nothing else is kind of super clear sideboard wise. I think you need to keep all the sweepers in for sure, all the removal. I think you need all these cards in. Remand is pretty mediocre against them. It is a counterspell for Tracker. It is something that hits Tracker. Mana Leak's also pretty mediocre. The games tend to go long and your Mana Leak's going to be dead a lot of the time. I think Mana Leak's probably one of the worst counterspells in the matchup. The worst counterspell in the matchup. Yeah. 2-mana counterspells in general are kind of awkward against Liliana of the Veil, for instance. Also, when they know what you have in hand, it's kind of easy for them to play around it. I don't think I want Rest in Peace in. I think it hurts me too much. I think another negate is reasonable. I think Vendilion Clique is reasonable. I think the Angels are reasonable. Tell me your Reinforcement is... It depends how the games play out. I could see it buying me a ton of time. Could see it also being very low impact when they pick your hand apart. It does buy you a lot of time. And the Angels are super hit or miss. They die to a Liliana activation. Maybe with Snapcaster in the deck and Angels become better. Also, I'm not the biggest fan of Clique in that matchup, honestly. I feel like Clique's kind of awkward against them always. Even though it's like, in theory, it can be good against Planeswalker. I'm actually not. I'm going to try the Angels. And I'm going to keep the Timely in to protect my Angels too. I'm going to trim another 2-mana counterspell. I guess I'll just trim Logic Knot. Probably should keep in Logic Knot and cut negates. Hey, Makis. Welcome home. How does it feel to be home, Makis? Or maybe you're at work? You know, like, did you go straight out of work? I know you got home yesterday. Gotta keep. Oh, another huge thing in this matchup is curving out those basic lands. It is not an easy task, though. I'm gonna try. Fulminator can be huge in this matchup. Took another day off leave. I had never been so tired in my life. Yeah. When bad things happen to me, I like to think that some of my worst experience involve, you know, planes and airports and stuff. And I'm like, you know, fairly first worldish problem. But I think some of the worst days experienced in my life have pretty much all involved like I don't think on my turn I was trying to actually hit a basic to not get Fulminator Mage and try to get 2 Field of Ruin mana without but I'm gonna keep Colonnade. At least they don't have pressure in play. We're just trading like Fulminator Mage for their turn. Beware the choke. Oh wow. It's true, people do play 1 choke. I think my play's kind of sketchy. Playing Glacial Fortress and having white up in case I opt into a Terminus is definitely Definitely a consideration. Looks like their draw's pretty bad. Wait. Why not take the tension sphere? Alright, you got me. There's some kind of weird 2-for-1. I'm not gonna lie, I do love playing against Assassin's Trophy and not Abrupt Decay and Maelstrom Pulse. Really enjoying these extra lands. Slice in Twain. That would be great. Man, I liked it much better when it was just Assassin's Trophy. Not gonna lie, having Peak in hand right now when I could have Serum Visions or Elevation doesn't feel good. These their hands kind of bad. Ooze and another Field of Ruin. Yeah, you definitely feel the field. They don't have, I guess they have Quagmire and sometimes Treetop Village too, so they do have good targets for your Field of Ruins, but Colonnade's a pretty big deal in the matchup, so getting one of their Field of Ruins out of the way is kind of nice. That was a pretty good draw. They have a green mana up. Kind of interesting here. This is going to be interesting if they tap down. Assassin's Trophy. It's not too big of a deal. Just going to save my Snapcaster Mage for later in the game. Why didn't you expect Mono Red? It's pretty strong and has a good matchup versus Black Green X. That was Kubil's asking McKees. I don't think anyone expected Mono Red to be very popular. It's just not that good of a deck, I guess. We didn't expect Mono Red. I think we had Mono Red at like 5% of the field, maybe. I was a bit worried about Colossus Collision versions. I feel like that card's very strong. And I was, you know, wondering if we had missed something there. I felt like I was losing to the +4/+2 trample a lot in testing on Arena, whether it was against the black-green aggro. I didn't think the red-green aggro deck was especially good, but I did feel like some of the draws where they draw +4/+2 they feel really tough.
Months already and I still didn't get you to play my BW zombies. I'm sad.
Hey Chi, merci mec. What's the white black zombie deck? I don't even remember. I did play some mono black Arch of Oraska. Alright, so it's kind of crazy. There's literally not a single creature in the graveyard. But I guess they can just sack Fulminator Mage. They're desperate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, I think I should block Hissing Quagmire. If I block Ooze, they're gonna sack Fulminator Mage. Alright, yeah, I need a sweeper. What's the Terminus song already? Terminus, 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 Terminus. This game's still gonna be really close. I think my top decks are a bit better. They have a bunch of dead discard spells. Let's see, Liliana. I guess I should play my lands. That's pretty scary. Who's did a lot of work this game. Yeah. I could be the Liliana Ultimate. Liliana Ultimate when they have a Goyfin plays a bit tougher. Path to exile, path to exile, do 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 do, path to. There's no Cryptic now, I only have sorceries in my graveyard. Unfortunately. Alright, well, we put a solid dent into the Liliana. Yikes. Chase. Alright, I'll accept. Do 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 do. Backwards hat. Probably look like a. They haven't drawn. I guess they've drawn a lot of lands. Jeez.
Backwards hat, backwards hat.
Backwards hat, backwards hat. Do 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 do. Not too sure what I'm supposed to do here. It's pretty close. I could bounce Confident now. I'm trying, Tim. I'm trying to write a tournament report with no deck list or sideboard card. It's hard. Dude, I started writing. I think I wrote like five paragraphs in like 1 hour. Trying to talk about just not just Magic. Took Jeff 2 months. Oh yeah, I'm sure. I can't even imagine how long it took him to write that tournament report and how many times he rewrote everything. Did he tell you how many actual hours it took him? I don't even want to know. Alright, I think I actually have to just bounce the Confident now rather than try and get tricky. What do you think, like over like 20 hours plus minus? Alright, how many draw steps? I think I should fetch now. I think Finning, not having a one less land in the deck over the next 2 or 3 draw steps is worth it. You think over 20? Did he discard Field of Ruin? Acquisition. Pretty brutal. Tireless Tracker. Oh, that's GG. Terminus, terminus. I could really use a terminus. Yeah. All I needed was a colonnade. This game. A second colonnade. Is that Fulminator Mage? I guess it's hard to stick a colonnade in this matchup. I'm gonna cut Condemn. I'm gonna bring in Logic Knot. Rayman seems bad. I think Rayman is fine, especially on the play. I should maybe go full creatures against them, just no counter spells, alt click. I could experiment. Alright, too late. Should I try and play around Fulminator Mage or not? Profane Command pick 2. Probably someone who's used to playing in the cube, and Profane Command is kind of not that great in the cube, so they're like, yeah, I can probably pass that. Colonnades, by their third turn, I can path and then Snapcaster, path my own dude. Alright, I'll try that. It's kind of ambitious. How is it so complicated to play the right land? Shouldn't be, right? Field of Room. Do I have icons for 2-year subs? As in special emotes? Or as in a special sub badge? Problem with playing field is I don't want to have to use field on a regular dual land. And I feel like if I play the field now, I should probably just sack it right away to fix my mana. That Fulminator Mage is probably over. I need Jace in this matchup. I just never do a Jace. It's really tough. I need like a little, I need a little something from my deck. I need to either get lucky with Terminus, draw a Jace, draw a Cryptic Command. I need something. I just drew like kind of bunch of bricks. In the Lyra could have been nothing really relevant. Maybe a click. That'd have been kind of okay. Yeah, I mean. I'll play it out. They could just kill themselves because they're confident. It's not like impossible. So next time people say Teferi is better than Jace. Elimination. Problem is elimination is kind of slow. Is, of course. I mean, this matchup, this matchup's just, it's frustrating because I can't do anything, but it's a pretty bad matchup. Freeman Gideon. Yeah, I mean, Freeman Gideon's probably decent against Liliana. I could see it. Alright, good games. Fulminator is just a huge problem. That's another reason why Riemann is so good. Also, maybe I just have to keep in mana leaks. I mean, this is, we were talking about, this is, I think this is maybe my literal worst matchup in the format. I don't think of any matchup I would want to play less than straight black-green. I think it's just that tough. Is there another deck that's tougher for blue-white than black-green? Like, there's not many matchups where I'll... I mean, Fanny Pack playing white taxes. Sure. Mono blue taking turns. Yeah, I guess. I guess taking turns kind of close to tier 1. It's reasonable. Do I think it's worse than John? Oh yeah. Much worse than Jaunt. Jaunt usually doesn't play as many confidence than trackers. Jaunt doesn't have Field of Rune. That's another matchup that's probably pretty tough to play because just the Vile decks, the Vile creature decks in general are not super easy to play against. Bug Reclamation is a worse matchup than Black-Green. Yeah, but is Bug Reclamation a tier 1 deck? I'm talking tier 1 decks. I'm not talking like meme decks. Hope I'm not offending anyone by saying that. I'm assuming Bug Reclamation just has some horrendous, like a bunch of horrendous matchups, right? Oh yeah, Millstone. Yeah, Mill might be even tougher when if you don't have Kozilek. Do I remember when we lost to Planeswalker deck Chandra Tribal? Yeah, that was absurd. Wait, did I not put back Terminus back on top? I do that so often, I just forget I'm actually supposed to put the Terminus back on top. Kind of awkward. So what's my next card? Tiny Reinforcement. I'm just playing this game kind of awful, honestly. I'm just gonna get wrecked by Eldrazi Displacer or something. Yeah, that was... Got distracted. Now I'm just on tilt. I kind of want a shame scoop, honestly. Alright, focus. Maybe it's the cap. It's preventing my brain to work properly. Who's Is Judah still streaming? Am I just ignoring Jace? It's kind of crazy. Not sure why you wouldn't at least send one creature at Jace. Seems kind of wrong. Speaking of wrong, do I have Path to Exile? I just lose now. That isn't great. I'll lose to a lot of cards actually. I'll lose to Displacer, I'll lose to Path. Wait, what? I'm missing something? Maybe mean Fanny Pack is just, you know, returning the favor. What a bro. Alright, down to 1. Thanks for the follow, Packnug. Alright, let's try not completely punt that game away now. Could have Detention Sphered, Cryptic Commanded Detention Sphere maybe, and get rid of all the vials. I've tried that white leg deck before. The one thing that was driving me crazy was the floods. Because you have to play 24, 25 lands and 4 vial, and I don't know, the screws and flood were really frustrating. But then you have like some unbeatable draws, some really dumb draws. Alright, somehow I did not get punished for some pretty loose plays. Let's see. I'm gonna have Thalia. Thalia's super scary, but there's not much I can do about it. The Stony Silence against Vial deck debate, yeah. I don't hate it. I haven't figured it out. I've only played like probably hundreds of games against Vial decks, and I still don't know if I like a Stony Silence or not against them. Magic is hard. I feel like their deck is one of the weaker Vial decks. Not weaker Vial decks, but I mean their deck doesn't use Vial as well as maybe a Spirits deck does, or maybe even Humans sometimes. I was looking for some updates on the race. It's gonna be like all the sickos Thiago Saporito was number 1. Andre might qualify. Comparing these two things requires valuing transparency at 0, which for me is among the most important considerations. When was that tweet? 6 a.m.? Oh, that was earlier. Kenta Harane is first. I don't know who Kenta Harane is. Funny thing is you could be number 1 and still fail to qualify because you aren't number 1 in the system for real. Is that really how it works? Seems like if you're number 1, you've got to be pretty safe, even if there's like small discrepancy, but... Yeah, this guy's good. For the most part, I'm really glad I don't have to participate in the madness, but can't help but think it would have been kind of cool. I think I'm just gonna take it. They're not pressuring me. I'm not going to do anything too crazy. I think I should manually do that. Would you be going for top 8 if you didn't have an invite? It's a tough question. I think so, yeah. I'd probably be going crazy. Oh really? Letting me condemn Thalia. Once again though, I'm not under much pressure. Condemning Thalia is pretty... What's gonna happen to me? I'm gonna get Thought-Knot seared? Or you're just gonna play another Thalia? I think I'm fine with either. I think that's fine. That's the worst that happens. I kind of like to be in these spots where you don't have a ton of pressure, and if I ever draw a terminus at any point, the game is just over. Giving one of my subs the dragon tap treatment. Why the phantom taps is just kind of a joke. Make them sweat. Should have minus on the displacer, I guess. But then I go down to 4, and even colonnade blocking doesn't really save me. What's the difference between phantom taps and dragon taps? I don't think there is one. We call them dragon taps because it's Kenny Xiong's trademark move. Kenny Xiong's also known as the dragon. Hence dragon tap. Kenny the dragon, yes, that Kenny, aka Kenny the pig. So when was that tweet posted? Oh, that was only a couple hours ago. Yeah. Kind of screwed, right? Because Terminus Hardcast costs 7. He can just... No, we'll see. Weird. This time they're killing the Teferi. That's a feel-good story, Auntie. Your Affinity deck. Not stolen. It's a good feeling. I know ghosting sucks, but what do you think about people grinding for the top 8 that ghost MPL members? I mean, just sucks as much, right? I think it's bad. I understand that, you know, the higher the stakes, the higher the temptation, and I just don't think the MPL people, I don't think anyone should be streaming. I don't think the MPL players should be streaming. It's fun, obviously. I say that I had the Juza stream on this morning, but I don't think they should be I don't think it's good that they're streaming, because then, yeah, people who get paired against them can ghost, and it's not fair for the people who are not ghosting. I was actually, every time they got paired again, every time Juza got paired against someone, I was checking Juza's chat to see if that person was in the chat or something. I'm guessing most of them are smart enough not to. All right, let me give this. I mean, I'm kind of blocked, right? 2 mana, Snapcaster, 2 mana. Alright, I'll just do that. I don't think I can live. I'm not even sure. I didn't do the math. I'm not sure I get to live a turn. We'll see. Yeah, all I have to do is blink Snapcaster Mage, right? It's not a clear-cut subject, but Purge might be good. My first reaction was it's bad, and then it's kind of cool, and it's something I think I would have been excited about if I was like, you know, kind of up-and-comer player and arena grinder or whatnot. Not too sure. I think it's somewhere in the middle, honestly. I don't know what CC fan means, but I mean, qualifying for the PT is kind of CC fan, I guess. I was always against Wizards giving rewards for grinding stuff like the trophy leaderboard and stuff. And I don't think the system is great, but I also don't think it's as bad as some people make it out to be with the whole like, oh, you're...
Pretty resub for timeout versus Jessica yesterday, Kappa hat.
Thanks, Melancholy. I mean, the whole like you're gonna be crushed and stuff is probably true, but I feel like it's just part of competitive gaming, and it's just a work you have to do to not let yourself get overwhelmed. I'm not saying my own experience justifies, means that it's fine or whatever, but when I used to play on the PT, if I made one game losing mistake in the entire PT that cost me like a slightly worse finish, I would think about it. I would not get over it until the next PT. That would be the only cure for me getting over my mistake, would be to move on, would be like playing in the next PT basically. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like, I think it's, I mean, yeah. I just don't know if there's anything you can really do to not have these kind of things happen. I mean, how many people have like lost in the finals of PTQs and stuff, and how is that any better? Sure, you quote unquote know what you're getting into, but I don't know. I feel like it's probably a bit over dramatic. Or maybe not over, maybe it's just a bad thing, but I don't know. Alright, we can talk about it afterwards. I'll finish. I will make Fanny Pack waste too much of his time. So I have two options. So I have Pav, they have Lingering Souls tokens coming. They have a Shaling Vent in play. The Vial is going to be pretty brutal. And they have Lingering Souls in his hand, which makes Vial even better. It's a pretty tough spot. I think getting rid of the Vial is actually pretty reasonable. Especially with Jace in hand. Makes my like Jace -1 much better. The whole process isn't pretty transparent. No, I mean, I agree. I'm not saying the system is good. Not perfect, not even probably good. But I also feel like, I mean, it's the classic, I have nothing against, I mean, I like Emma, I like Ryan. I don't know them that well, but I like them. And I think they're usually on the right side of, the whatever the argument, but I think they like take it too far. I mean, it's the whole social media, like the hot takes and all that stuff. You need to, it's not very. It's hard to be like kind of, oh, I think it's gray. It's unfortunate, but I think it's kind of like just the way it is. I think I'm just supposed to Jace Brainstorm and hope to hit a Terminus ride. People who are obviously on the privileged side of things should do the most graceful thing possible and stay out of discussions on subjects like this. I mean, if you think you can be objective, your points can be valid even though you might be biased. You could argue the other way around, right? You could argue that people who are on the other side, like, everyone's going to have biases, and everyone's kind of, I mean, it's natural that people just defend their cause because that's what you care about. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, if you don't care, problem is if you don't care about something, you're just not going to try very hard to think about it, and so it's kind of hard to say that, to have like, oh, you're on the good side, so I don't know. I do agree with you that, like, saying stuff like Bennett and Jews on social media when they're part of the MPL is, you know, probably not the greatest. That's probably a fair point. Please don't tell me someone could be objective. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be, you can still, like, you know, your point can happen to be valid even if you have reasons not to be objective, right? It's not because they're in the MPL that everything they say is wrong. Do I know my top card? I think I do, but I can't remember what it is. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. Just basically dig to Terminus. Spell snare thing. I mean, is any competitive system like good for, you know, psychologically good or whatever? It's always heartbreaking. That's what makes it so exciting. It's just, you get to watch people who there's, you know, that's all they care about and there's nothing else. I don't know. Wait, did I not? Why did I not float a mana? Or was it tapped already? Oh, that was not good. Describe. Is Entreat the Angels playable? I've tried it. I liked it. I think it's a good card. I think I might be wrong, and I'm not very good at logic, I feel sometimes, so sometimes I don't try to argue too hard, but is the whole, like, you don't know what you're getting into argument for the latter, like, you can come up short and not know, is that even, like, I feel like it's all relative. You do know what you're getting into. You do know that you might get screwed, you might not know. Just like you do know that when you go drive 8 hours to play a sealed deck PTQ, you might just open an unplayable pile of garbage, right? And have like literally no shot at top 8. Is that like that much different? And isn't it just like that's kind of a different scale? Obviously I got the Terminus now. Well, better late than never, I guess. Am I wrong? That it's just like, feel like it's just people just setting the bar where they want it to be, and it's not actually like, it's not even close. Why is it not close? I feel like it's just like a scale thing where it's just like, yeah. Oh, looks like I just lost. No, never mind. I guess I don't have the mana to blink my Snapcaster Mage. Imagine you're like 6-0 in a PTQ, no one can pass you on Arena, even if you go on 6 streaks. There's always someone who can pass you and you don't know it. See, but I don't think that's a valid argument. It's just a different kind of way to qualify, but it's, I don't know, Yeah, no one is arguing that there's not a better system. I don't think that's the argument that the system is good. My argument is that it's not as bad as like some people are making it sound, was the whole like people are going to be crushed, this, that. How do they even know? It hasn't even happened yet. At least I don't know. Alright, it looks like I'm pretty screwed here. I mean, this matchup's pretty tough, and it's even tougher when you're not really paying attention. Alright. Oh, and I played the wrong lane. Oh no, I still get a... No, I'm 1 mana short, right? I think I'm 1 mana short. Oh yeah, and they have Arbiter. I was actually not 1 mana short if they didn't have Arbiter. I needed a Cryptic Command or a Terminus, and I was in okay shape. I'm guessing I could have won that game, but it was probably kind of complicated. Alright, GG. I'm the coolest. My opinions are super valid. Thanks, bud. Speaking of bias. Speaking of getting crushed. Let's not keep playing. Did we let Thalia live too long? I don't know. I mean, Fanny Pack. I'm sure I played that game awful. We were talking about the top 8 invite system the whole time. That's why I was playing a bit slowly. Also, like, no one's forcing anyone to play. I don't know. That, once again, I don't know if that's a great argument, but you know, no one's forcing you to drive 10 hours to a PTQ. No one's forcing you to... I mean, I don't know. Trade-up village? That's not good. If you want to compete, it should be as easable as possible to compete. Nothing's easy. It's freaking esports, man. It's like the competition is just absurd. There's like 8 spots. Was I don't know how many people play on Arena, but I mean, Dota 2 has millions of players, and there's like not even 100. There's like maybe 100 people who get to make a living. Like, it's just, there's nothing easy about trying to make it into like esports or what. I don't even get it. Why should it be easy when you're competing for something thousands of people want and there's only like 2 slots or whatever, 8. Teabag Tom, yeah, he said he's a big fan. I wonder what his Twitch handle is. I feel like I've played against. Once again, we're not arguing that there's not better ways to do it. That's not what we're talking. I'll be the first one to say that the system is not good, and you know, I've always said I don't want people to get rewards for like super tough, like mindless, almost kind of grind and stuff, but it's not really what we're talking. Did I just reflexively pay the Thalia tax? Yeah, probably. I think that's what happened last time. Hey, Andrea. we're talking about, we're having a whole discussion about the top 8 of the system of invite. I'm basically arguing that it's not as bad as people make it sound, while, you know, acknowledging that the system is not good. And I think that's, you know, that's why the next system is not going to be that. It's going to be like top 1,000, whatever, and then another PTQ. I was just basically saying that I don't think it's as bad as some people make it. Yeah, no, it's good that they're not doing it again, but we'll see, I guess. We can ask the people who got like 9s through 20. I mean, I was just saying there's always some people who are going to be crushed. I was talking about my own experience when I was playing, when I cared, you know, even more than I do now about the PT, and I would just not get over my mistakes until the next PT came along. That was the only thing that would help me get over it. I would just always think about the mistakes I made in the games I could have won at the last PT, and that's not good. That's probably terrible for my mental health, but you know, it's happened and you have to work on it. Just like, you know, you have to have a good outlook. You choose to join that race. You know you might you might miss out and get really close but not quite get there. I mean, this game doesn't feel that great. Not sure I should do what I'm doing right now. Oh, Cryptic bounce the D-sphere. Did not let them get a draw step was Dark Confident. Do I keep a land? Funny. Jace. I'll keep colonnading. Mishmu says, just join. Not sure what we're talking about, but I disagree unless everyone else already disagreeing, then I agree. I think the problem with the system is that it's not scalable to growing the game but keeping the same slots, and with such a small number of slots, it really discourages people to go for it over and over. A point like system like the Pro Club seems better. It would promote the idea of I didn't get all the way to like this season, but next season. He's making fun of my Turbo Terminal. I think the thing with Magic is, since there's decent amount of luck involved, I think you do need a system like the old system that rewards at the same time the good players and like commitment over time, and give these players enough shots that they can at least negate some amount of the variance. In a skill game, like almost pure skill game like Dota, and even Dota has some luck, but in a game like Dota, you can't just have like qualifiers over and over, because if you're the best team, you're probably gonna win, and luck's probably not gonna matter. But in the game of Magic, you have to have something that rewards, like, you know, kind of like the old system that you can get points at GPs and points at PTs. And then the scalability issue is, I mean, scalability, I think, is just like, it's scalable if Wizards, you know, gives back a percentage of what they make with Arena. You know, it's as scalable as Wizards want it to be, right? If they're making a ton of money and they're like, all right, we're going to give like X% of the money we make to the competitive scene or to like these tournaments and stuff, and But if they decide we're just going to give like 10 million, and even if we keep making more and more, we're going to keep it at 10 million, then it's not viable, right? Because there's going to be more and more people competing for the same amount. And yeah, you know, we don't have like great reasons to be like optimistic, given that, you know, I think Magic has done fairly well and probably more and more money, and they never changed the price pool. But at the same time, and that ooze is kind of annoying. I'm just gonna counter it. At the same time, you know, maybe they've changed. You know, maybe they've decided to adapt new strategy, especially with the whole esport things. Because as far as we know, they haven't really put that much more money pools. Oh yeah, I'm dumb. I don't get to flip it if I logic not either. Well, some pretty loose place. Angel didn't really work out last time. I drew it and it did nothing, but I kind of drew it after they had Liliana in place, so even a negate or anything wouldn't have really helped. I'll try no counter spells, just the one spell snare. Do I have anything else I want over spell snare? I could try 2 tiny reinforcement. It's kind of good against Bloodbraid Elf. I'll try that. I'll try to like... Oh, I'll keep in the 1 logic knot, I guess. Well, only 1 to Fairy. I think Jace is much, much, much better. And I had to make... Fulminator Mage. Well... Why am I playing my basics? Because of Fulminator Mage. I mean, one of the big problems is that Wizards is just owned by Hasbro, and they're just in the business of making money. You know, they're just, I mean, it's same as a lot of businesses, and it's yeah, I mean Wizards too, but you know what I mean. You know, if we could show them that like someone had to prove that like, look, keep investing more money if you make more money into the esports scene, and it's going to be good for you in the long term, and you're going to make more money, they would be all about it. But no one can really do that, and I think the default strat, you know, go for the safe and quick short-term money. Most Hasbro IPs have been doing badly, so they're kind of relying on Magic. Going after a duel, yeah, I'm not sure if they always play Basic Mountain. I'm not sure what's the meta these days. If that's why. Probably gonna have to purge that Liliana at some point, so I think I should probably just... I got to dodge kind of Fulminator Mage, but didn't matter because I didn't draw Jace for... Always nice to draw. I'm gonna say go one more time, see what happens. Get a feel. I'm not too sure what Tom, Teabag Tom over there has. Probably using surgical in part to see what I have in hand. Probably not gonna be very pleased with what he sees. Could have some bolts in. Keeping a bolt or two in is probably not terrible against the J stack. I'm not too sure what else he has. I'm more interested was what people are talking about game in and every. Alright, you got me. You got my I'm interested. I think playing Jace. I'd like to think I'm sequencing my plays in a decent manner, but no fetch and penalty to. Maybe I should have played timely. If I play timely, they can sack. The thing is that Fulminator Mage alone doesn't kill Jace, and if I get to untap with Jace even with one counter on it, I win anyways, right? So what happens if I play timely is I fetch, they fetch, so I gain no life, I get no tokens, and all I'm doing is forcing them to sack Fulminator Mage. That does. Do I want to draw Terminus into timely? Not really. Now I feel bad for keeping Flooded Strand over timely reinforcement though. That part was definitely not very good. I didn't think about all the scenarios. Repping the cryptic command. I think the correct play is what I did. I should have done what I did, but except I should have kept timely reinforcement in hand instead of Flooded Strand. The reason I put timely back on top is because I was playing around Inquisition. But he already played 2 Inquisition. Yeah. I think besides that, my line was correct. Besides the one horrendous mistake. Wow. Things I learned. People don't like being told that they should be grateful for a system by those who benefit from it and aren't obliged to participate in it. Classic LSV. Corey's at. Well, the good news is I'm not dead. See what my teammate has to say. Those 10-hour card rides were some of the best times of my life, and the friends I made playing Magic are irreplaceable. This is chaos. Top 1000 seems better. I like that people can opt into it, but I really think this is not good for mental health. I think it will improve over time. Yeah, that is true. It's true that like these PTQs, like it's crazy, but it is, yeah. I mean, no one's arguing that the system is. I don't think anyone's like that's a great system. Please do that every time. No. All right, I need a cryptic command. Time. Go to 1. Go to 7. Is it every time it enters the battlefield? Maelstrom Pulse wins them the game. Ethan Gajewski, I think, is on the grind, and he agrees with Ben S. PTQ is 48 hours long. Every break you take during that time, even for meals, could cost you. It's during the middle of the week. Instead of 200 people for 1 spot, it's 10k plus for 8 spots. Well, it's not really 10k plus. It's like if you're not in the top 1000 by the last day or two. All right, they had to kill. Huh. I guess they let me have search because colonnades come. Oh, jeez. When was my last time at an LGS? I actually went. I don't go very often, but I went to an LGS like for the last pre-release. But yeah, I go to an LGS like I've probably averaged an LGS once a year in the past 10 years or so. Did people recognize me? I mean, some people knew who I was. Am I? I'm also like honestly impressed at all the. And it's gonna sound kind of borderline trollish, but I'm pretty impressed at all these. I didn't know we had so many. Psychology expert in the Magic community. All of a sudden, we just have tens and hundreds of like how that something that's no one's never been through like affects. I mean, you're playing a video game. You're probably having fun. Is it really? Like, if you're gonna say that, you could argue that is it reasonable to have the Pro Tour in the first place? Like, to just give out $50,000 prize to, like, is that healthy? Does that promote healthy like gaming habits and stuff? I don't know. I really feel like people are just putting the bar where they want it to be, and is like, nope, this is fine, but this is not, and. I feel like it's not that clear. Oh, I discard a card? Let's fail. They're down to 1? Or they're down to 11? I don't even know they have one card in hand. I'm gonna bottom that. More fun, we get to spin the wheel again. Ooh. Alright, that should do it. So that's what they had in hand. They had a bunch of surgicals. I am one short of cast. I don't know. I know I have a tendency to like play devil's advocate too, so please do take everything I say with a grain of salt. I think it's really tough. It's a complicated subject. I don't think it's a reward that's a problem. It's the fact that you never know if you've made it or not. Yeah. I mean, I think we're arguing different things. Again, I'm not saying the system is good. I'm saying it's not... I'm hoping to, and I don't think it's as bad as like the whole like people are going to be devastated. Like you spend like a week of your life on something you love and on a game, and maybe you are not going to get like... It's like a free roll to... I don't know. I think people are way overreacting, or some people are. To be honest, they're making a big deal of something that already exists in sports. Well, it doesn't mean because something exists and became normal that it's good. There's a lot of things that are people take for that people think are normal and that are pretty bad. But oh wow, second Halkite, or is that the one with turn? All right, that's still one, right? Alright, GG's Tom. Thanks for... Classic Teferi just strolls in when all the hard work is done. Oh, I'll send you two from the top. I'm great, I'm Teferi. Right on time. Get out of here, Teferi. We didn't need you, we had it. Teferi is your 212 Spectre that's been farming all game and finally gets rated. That's 4. Yeah, no, it's more like because that actually might win you the game. Teferi is more like, when you pick AM and your teammate just plays great as 4 and you basically have nothing to do. You just get to farm all game, and it's almost like they would have won the game without you. But you just come in to, for the last push. You join the team and you end the game. All right, triple terminus is a bit much. Just an interesting hand. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna cantrip on turn 1. I'll top. Make them believe I'm not gonna sack my fetch land or something. Woo! Cool. I like playing in Spoggles. Even more when I have 4 terminus. I don't know. The blue-white. I guess there's a lot of matchups I like play against with blue-white because they're pretty cool and kind of fun to play. I want to see once they start when they bring in Gadok Teague. Not too sure how I feel about that, but late on Subspeak, yeah. I've been using Op first because I really want to hit my land drops. Yeah, I'm probably in good shape this game. Their draw's not blazing fast, and I have 4 terminus with a bunch of cantrips. already not worried. What? I'm really just trading click for an Umbra, but Douglas players usually don't want to lose their Umbra like that. Alright, I'm gonna target them, I guess. My hand's kind of good. I mean, Rayman's not great. And I need lands. I don't know, it's close. Could be, yeah, it could be core into aura. That's why I want to target them. And I thought they might give me the land anyway, so it's kind of working out. Okay, so now they don't have the mana to do that. Also, should I take core and then they're gonna go Daybreak Coronet? And then I can just cryptic command. I'll take the core. It's kind of risky. If I did another 1 mana Umbra, then I can't reg them with cryptic. I guess it doesn't really matter if I do draw step or anything else, right? Still want to do it on their turn. This is not even that good, right? They still get to go Umbra, Daybreak, Coronet. I mean, I got some value. Could almost argue that, yeah, I don't know why I did it now. Like, that was terrible. I completely, like, I was like, yeah, that was awful. I was supposed to do. Yeah. Whoops. No, right. Yeah. Alright, I need a land and a terminus. Alright, looks like I was gonna lose anyways. Just no terminus in my... How many cards have I seen? Like 20 cards after my opening, so it's kind of brutal. It's such a good feeling when you have... Again, not complaining, I chose this myself, but the blood, sweat, and tears are real. You know what is real also? The $250,000 they're giving out to first place. And the minimum $7,500 appearance, not appearance fee, but minimum. I mean, does that count for anything? Is that real? The blood, sweat, and tears from a video game. Yeah, I mean... That too, honestly. It makes it sound like they're forcing them to go. I feel like that's why I say when people are getting a bit dramatic, I feel is this whole, is the system good? No. Are people getting maybe a tiny bit, you know, overly dramatic and blowing things out of proportion? Given that it's Twitter, probably. Kangafan loves it. Just my 2 cents as a viewer, this is getting tiring to hear. Well, Makis, you're kind of like the opposite spectrum here. You're like super anti-Wizards bias, and you know, you kind of got screwed, and I understand that. You're probably not the most objective either, right? Oh no, I was over. Alright, I'll stop talking about it. Sorry, my bad. Squad Chief said he decided to go with Weir for GPLA. Well, Weir has definitely proven that it can win a lot of games of Modern, so sounds like a reasonable choice. It got, what, second at the last? What's the major tuning on Blue Watch recently, and what informs the changes? I have like a little wheel I spin with a bunch of one-ofs, all the one-ofs, and depending on where the wheel falls, that's usually just what I choose to play. I was debating whether I would want to get greedy with a Terminus, but if Terminus is my top card, it means I get to cast it next turn anyway, so... And I could maybe board out Condemn. You definitely don't want to board out Path 4 House because of Gadoktig and the core dude, but Condemn might be a bit loose. There's no cards I'm really excited about in my sideboard though, besides Negate. Alright, that's... which... changes their clock a tiny bit, but I'm not going to counter that. Plastic ideas. Is that like my ideas? Just terrible. Plastic ideas. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. Terminus. Finally got a Terminus. It only took like 20 draw steps or something, but we got there. Well. Alright, decided to counter armor since it's a lot of damage and it gives first strike, so my Snapcaster doesn't do anything anymore. Double checking I'm muted. No, because something said something about mic and stuff, so I double checked, but nothing very exciting. Deciding what I'm gonna make for dinner, and Liz telling me she's gonna be a bit late. What's on the menu? Roasted chicken and some potatoes. The chicken was 50% off because it technically expires today. I've been trying to buy less meat, but lately they've just had a lot of meat, like 30% off, 50% off, because I'm sure it stays good like for 1 or 2 days after that too, so it's not even the end of the world. All right, that's pretty good. Nothing's wrong with roasted chicken. It's really good. Bunch of butter, bunch of oil. You've got the butter and the oil of the grease of the chicken that falls into the the potatoes, you know, they're at the bottom of the dish. End step. Wow, their hand is really clunky. Crazy. Speaking of clunky. Finally. So I need to be careful because I have Daybreak Coronet in hand, so I could just straight up lose the game if I tap out for Jace. If they have anyone, I guess they need a green aura. Or maybe a second land. Did I let that resolve? Probably just have a handful of Daybreak Coronets that I have to counter now. I think maybe I was supposed to just counter the Keen Sense. That's probably not great. I'm gonna use Logic Knot, and then I'm probably gonna have to just click them in their draw step. Sometimes it feels like this matchup was easier when I had 4 mana sweepers instead of Terminus, which doesn't make a ton of sense. But I don't feel like I've been winning this matchup way more than I used to. Alright, so Daybreak doesn't give Trample. I can still have a couple of cards that kill me. Maybe just go. What did they even have? Oh, Miracle to Terminus. I have an answer for. Guess I should have ordered Jace on top. Small mistake. Is Boggles one of the toughest matchup for control decks? I don't think Boggles that tough for blue-white. It's pretty close. I used to think it was blue-white favorite, but I've been kind of struggling lately. The last few times I've lost. The fact that they play a lot of, I think they didn't always have like, I think they have free Gadok Teague now, most versions do. They have that many before. Alright, I'm assuming it doesn't really matter what I do now. Since I have no cards in hand, basically. No board, no cards in hand. Whatever. Hey, Lorwyn Drev's been fun, Makis? Is Merfolk the best archetype, or is it clever? Really hoping my opponent just scoops here. Merfolk is. I don't even remember what else. There's like fairies, Merfolk. Is this really what's going on here? Just Hyena Helmbras on try. Is cardboard updated? It should be. Actually, probably, you know what happened? I probably loaded the wrong one. I think someone actually said something earlier and I didn't connect the dots. There, my bad. Fairies, merfolk, elementals, giants, goblin, kiskins, treefolk. Yeah, fairies and merfolk. Elementals was the giant, right? Or no, that was just giants. The 4/4/4/5 Thunderclap Shaman. That card was really good. Alright, I decided to keep because I have spot removal for their scary hate bears, and I don't have a Terminus in my opening hand, and I have Detention Sphere to hopefully slow them down a bit, so it's not... I'd rather have an opt or two, obviously, to have a better chance at hitting Terminus, but I think I have to just keep that hand and hope it's good enough. Looks like it's... The Merfolk that gives -X/-0 is the best common in the set. Yeah, that's what I remember too. Griffbone. Wellington at this point. I have Mulder. Negate over Condemn. Oh yeah, I forgot about the Condemn. I even said it was loose to have it. I agree. Flying's honestly kind of an Master Mage. I'm just gonna counter it. I think it's reasonable. Maybe counter and then D-Sphere the Spider Umbra. Nice counter, idiot. Yeah, I had Pigeon plan. Pretty bad hand. Let's see. What is Reed playing? I'm assuming, oh, the 7-0 dude is still streaming. What rank is he at? 306. Doesn't look like he's gonna... Anyone in the single or double digits streaming their Jody case? Yeah, I was watching his stream. I was watching at some point because Sauce. Jody Keith was out the whole time. No, actually. We might end up with a positive record. Blue-White has definitely felt, I'm not gonna lie, it hasn't felt that great. I'm not sure how well people are doing with Phoenix decks or good Amulet Titan players are doing. Are you still here, Pundinline? Have you been playing Modern Leagues later? What's your record of? Been playing a mix of humans and amulets. What's your average win rate these days? Like last 5 or 6 leagues? Have I tried running the Sphinx Walls Resto version? I have not. I think that version is probably pretty bad when the decks are unfair. I don't know, I think that version is not great in general, but it's... Thanks, Great Santini. Chase is training wheels. Yeah, I could see that. I haven't been keeping track recently, but usually it hovers around 68%, probably more recently because the deck has been running well, but it's more, and yeah. So, quick math. I went 4-1, 4-1, 2 free, and now I'm 2-2, 10-5, 12-7. So if I win that, it's 13-7 times 5. What's 13? That's 65%. If I do match, not bad. Let's see what happens when Murph is a moderator. I'm not sure it's going to go very well for you, Squachief, though. Should I use Snap Condemn or should I path? Or just Snap Condemn? Is 65% good enough? Oh right, they play these cards now. Things depends on... It kind of depends at what time, honestly. I mean, I think 65% is pretty decent right now, but... Sometimes the leagues are softer when there's a new set that comes out and people are brewing, etc. So it's kind of relative. It's also like 65% when I'm streaming and making a lot of mistakes. And it's funny, I almost feel like having Snapcaster Mage in your deck is better against the Phoenix deck than having main deck Rest in Peace. Pretty close anyways. There's a safe cryptic command for Crackling Drakes and... I think Snapcaster is better than Rest in Peace main deck. But do you think Snapcaster is better in this matchup? Would you rather have Snapcaster than Rest in Peace? Murph probably just doesn't know what to do now that I've modded him. He just was so unexpected. He's like, doesn't really know what people expect of him. Am I supposed to keep being a raging a-hole, or should I prove everyone wrong and be on my best behavior? Probably a struggle right now. You're at a crossroad in your life, Murph dog. What it's gonna be? Good or evil? Speaking of evil, all right, what's it gonna be? Neutral, what's it called already? Neutral chaotic evil, or neutral evil, or what kind of evil is it going to be? Maybe that was a better question. Is Rest in Peace better? Yeah, maybe Rest in Peace is better than Snapcaster Mage. Second thoughts. Murph is clearly kill. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Ascension main deck's pretty rare, right? I think that's what Ely had when he won the GP. He had Ascension main, but I think he liked the Young Pyromancers better. I can probably scoop this game. To be fair, I have a lot of removal spells. But I mean, eventually they're probably just going to kill me by drawing a bunch. I don't think I just can keep up just 1-for-1 removal spell here. Alright, I have outs apparently. They might deck themselves by mistake. That'd be gas. Man, I didn't think I could lose this game. It was looking so good, and then they just played an Ascension. Live looking on Murph.
Nice.
Of course not! I'm fucking evil! Garlic gun!
Ooh, did he say garlic? Oh, man.
I enjoy a good Kamehameha, but we're gonna be there like for hours if we wait till good old Sangoku resolves his spell. Maybe I was supposed to just Snapcast or Cryptic tap and bounce. Maybe that was just a better play than... Isaac can play a bunch of spells on their up. Did he say? Do 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 do. Looks like Alex Borte is dead. Talking to Alex Borte, he said he's dead in the race. And he obviously thinks the system is dumb. Since he was basically in the top 20 for the entire month, and he was 6 2 nights ago. And then he went on one bad run and he fell from 6 to 1,000. Do I think Crackling Drake is good? Blue white. It's pretty good against Rest in Peace too. But I've never really played the Phoenix side. Am I even supposed to do that rather than just bounce the Ascension? I don't know, man. Kang says, when I play this matchup, I always lose to Drake. Yeah, Drake seems good to me too. Borte just said, I'm back to 384th and there's still 3 hours left, and with this stupid system, that means a heater and I can still be ranked. Classic Sprawling was the gold tweets. I did not defend the breadline system. All I said from the window of my palace was I'm glad there's bread for those 8 people who were able to get some. Poor choice of words perhaps, but... This is why I stick to to the trolls and Twitter mostly. How many bolts, by the way? There's 3 bolts in the yards. These games have been complicated. I feel like you could have games. Putty says, this is why I say hidden in my ivory tower and not usually interacting. Yeah. I know. I don't know. I feel like I just kind of a thing where I know my place and there's people smarter than me and better at logic and all that stuff. And, you know, if I feel like I really have something to add, I will. But, you know, we have enough smart and clever people in the community that my input is usually not needed. You know, if you want to ask me how you think you should build blue-white control in modern, you know, I'll chip in. They just have a phoenix in the yard, right? I guess I have colonnade in. I don't think I can negate it to keep colonnade to block. The game was kind of interesting. Problem is I have a phoenix there. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, I wonder if there was a point where I could have the turn I cast Terminus. Maybe I have a better shot at winning if I go Snapcaster, Cryptic, Bounce, Tap. We'll never know. Ooh, COP red. CCBM, thanks for the follow. Yeah, I might board out the turn. Negate's probably pretty mediocre. Saintful Sword counters the Drake, which is one of the annoying cards. This is probably not very good with Rest in Peace, and I guess I should trim. I'm not used to having Snapcaster, Rest in Peace, and Surgical, so I'm not exactly sure what I should be doing there. Snapcaster is probably just pretty weak in this matchup. Search for a contest even if you have Rest in Peace. I like Mana League, I think. Counters everything, counters a Drake. They usually don't get a ton of lands in play. Timely Reinforcement's pretty mediocre, but I think keeping one might be good. I guess I have the Angels for life gain. And Timely's pretty... It's good at racing a Phoenix, I guess, but it's pretty bad against staying in the ice. Why isn't the title top 5 all time? I don't know. The title should be 11th best player in the world. 11th best player of all time, actually. My paternal grandparents both died grinding Planeswalker points in, and I had to log on this morning and see your remarks where you said more grinding is better because it gives WotC more revenue. Did you ever stop to think about the consequences of your world? I was writing my article about basically not just the Mythic Championship, but kind of, you know, everything, the Invitational, and, you know, I was thinking about sharing my thoughts on the system and stuff, but I think I'm just gonna abstain. But that's like, I think my takes are especially bad. I agree the system is really bad, and, you know, but I feel like I hated it at first. I was like, this is terrible. And I was like, not as much against it as I was. So I feel like it's probably natural that over time you kind of, you know, gravitate towards the middle ground. But maybe it's not a good thing. I think I just cold AF takes this morning. I feel like my opinion has some legitimacy as, you know, someone who could have, you know, been picked to play in the Silver Showcase, etc. I kind of went through that. I've been kind of on both sides, you know. Not that I necessarily felt entitled. I was like, you know, kind of good beats. My first reaction when I saw the invite list was like, oh, well, good beats, you know. Lots of people I like got in, you know, would have been nice to be a part of it, but it's probably fine. You know, everyone who was all the Magic, you know, wow. Wait, what? How did he... Oh, Manamorphose. I was like, huh. Alright, let's see it. Circle of Protection Red. Permacued, yeah, that's great. Hammy Bone, I love it. Choice of words. They take away Hall of Fame invites. They haven't really said anything about. Is there a way to see my sideboard? Yeah, apparently the thing is kind of poorly positioned. I can probably fix that. It's like kind of an awkward spot where you can't really see the sideboard. Oh yeah, you have to scroll down and then it scrolls that stuff down. Alright, give me a sec. My extensions. Wait, why can't we not see the sideboard? I guess you have to click again to expand the sideboard. Free cards in hand, guys. You think the Mythic is a fun time? Honestly, from a personal perspective, you know, it's probably going to be just... I usually don't have a great time playing the PT itself, because I'm just like, you know, it's kind of stressful in a way, you know? And... I don't know, it's a pretty big deal. It's a lot of money. And like, wow, brutal. I think I'm going to have a good time, but it's you know, odds are I'm gonna be, you know, not play regrets, all that stuff, and kind of the usual, I want to say. I'm sure it's going to be great for people watching. And hopefully they do a good job with the production and there's no like and no horror stories. Langflurry can confirm. I think I ran into you right after punting around. Is it worth countering with COP red in play? Oh, that's a good point. Cryptic is pretty clunky in this matchup. They have Dispel, they even have Counterspell, so... Alright. So if I play Lyra, they could have like Rawl or Beacon Bolt. I think they play these cards. Circle of Protection red and Jace, and it's kind of awkward too, right? Alright, I guess I don't have the greatest... Beacon Ball does nothing with Rest in Peace in play? No, that's not true. Am I just dead? Bold spell. Alright, not quite. Nice COP red. Maybe I'm just playing it poorly. I don't know, I probably played that game bad once again. I'm not too sure where it all went wrong, but feels like I shouldn't be in that bad of a spot. Maybe tapping out was Lyra. I'm supposed to just go chase Brainstorm. Alright, nice. Ooh, the weather's getting crappy. No more sun for me. Go, glimpse of I wonder if Cryptic Command is straight up bad. If disdainful. Snapcaster was 2 Rest in Peace in my deck. Pundenoin, I agree. Forgot about Rip. Forgot about Dre. Alright, let's go. Pyromancer Ascension. I always feel like they should board out Pyromancer Ascension, but when I play the matchup, I feel like they usually have it still after sideboard. Being on a Pyromancer, young Pyromancer would have been pretty bad for me. Not sure what I'm supposed to do here, if I'm supposed to jam the Rest in Peace or not. I'm assuming not. Just repping some kind of 2-mana counter spell. Wow. Not like this. Got fancy. It's real life. So stupid. I guess I should have played Rest in Peace. He didn't have it. Well, just play your Rest in Peace, kids. I don't know. I think I usually play Rest in Peace during